Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. What a crazy, insane episode of Euphoria that just aired tonight. We're up to Season 2, Episode 5 now, titled Stand Still Like the Hummingbird. Before we go into it, please make sure you like this video if you guys have been enjoying it. Please make sure to subscribe if you're new. This will be a quick review on the episode. I'm going to talk about the things I liked, dissect some things that happened, talk about maybe about things that might happen in the future, give a rating for this episode, and that is pretty much it. So let's go into it. So let's start at the beginning. That may have been the best first 15 minutes of Euphoria of any episode. There was so much that happened in those first 15 minutes. It was like the climax of so many storylines throughout this season that sort of just came to its peak in the beginning. And, we start out, we find out that Rue's mom was told by Jules that Rue was back on drugs, right? As we saw in last episode, Elliot told Jules, now Jules told Rue's mom, and we see what happens now. She throws out her bag of pills, which as we all know belong to Lori. That's who she's working for. She's to sell those pills for money. The mom flushes it down the toilet. We see just chaos ensue as Rue gets pissed off at her mom for doing that. Just absolute insanity and great acting by both of them, especially by Rue's mom, who we don't really get to see her range in the show as much. In the first season, she has some good outbreak scenes, but I think this was by far her best scene that she's done so far. You really see the emotion in her face when she's trying to portray to Rue, how much she's affecting not only her life, but, the people around her. And that's sort of been like the main narrative of this season, is that one, Rue's not a good person, which is what Rue's mom says in this episode. And two is that what she's doing, her drugs, it doesn't just affect her, but affects almost every single character in this show. And we see the backlash that Rue has to that sort of narrative as, she just starts going on a rampage. The mom has to lock her out. The family's legit scared, her sister and her mom. She breaks down the door. She goes absolutely insane. But then probably the most saddest scene in the show so far happens right after, as Rue sort of realizes what she just did. She sort of kneels down and starts crying, right? And it's actually heartbreaking to watch. And it's a testament to Zendaya's acting, like I just said, but just the writing of the show, just how far we've come, how much we've seen this character, for it to all sort of come to its peak here with the mom and the sister. It's heartbreaking. And to see Rue just, she knows what she's doing, she knows that what she's doing is bad, but she can't help herself, she's addicted. And that's just to see another effect of addiction like that, it's just sad to see. Another climactic peak that we have right after is the one between Rue and Jules. Jules is in the house, Elliot's in the house. Rue sort of tells Jules that she's dead to me, we're done, we'll never get back together. I sort of believe that. I feel like there's no way for them to sort of come back from this. This was a big thing that Jules did. It's important what she did. Rue's gonna hate her for doing this. Maybe by the end of this show, whether I know season 3 was just confirmed, they could reconcile. But I feel like this relationship, I personally feel like it may be too much to come back from. They're not just gonna come back and be in love again. That's not gonna happen. It's gonna take a very long time for them to make amends and for Rue to maybe forgive Jules one day. And then another heartbreaking scene is when Rue's mom and the sister bring Rue to the ER, or she's actually going to rehab. That's where she's trying to bring her, right? And Rue's just talking about killing herself in the back. The sister's just crying in the front seat. She obviously loves her sister. To see her sister just start spewing all this killing yourself nonsense, it's got to be heartbreaking for her as well, not only for us as the audience. And then right after is when pretty much just high tension begins, and it doesn't really stop for the rest of the episode. Rue gets out of the car. She's walking in the middle of traffic. She's running away from her mom. All of a sudden, there's just suspense and adrenaline that is, like I said, just doesn't stop for the rest of this episode. And that's probably the strongest part of this episode, is the amount of engaging high-tension scenes consistently throughout its runtime. At first, she looks for Fez, and then I think the first location she looks for, Fez isn't there, so then she goes to Lexi's house. I thought this was actually comical, this whole Lexi's house scene. In the beginning where Rue's talking to Lexi's mom. Lexi's mom's trying to drag out the conversation. Rue wants to go to the bathroom. It was just funny, Rue changing her voice and her personality to talk to a parent. It's just funny because these girls are still in high school. All these characters are still in high school. And I always sort of forget that because the show and the theme seems so much more adult and sort of unrealistic for what actual high school is. But that being said, that's just going off on a tangent. It's funny how after Rue exposes Cassie, for being with Nate in front of Maddie, this was another, peak of a storyline that was happening. We were waiting for the big explosion to happen of when Maddie would finally find out about Cassie and Nate. It finally comes here at the hands of Rue, just showing more about how much Rue affects all these characters. And then although it was sad to see Cassie being upset about this news, and it was kind of funny to see Maddie just start lashing out at Cassie, Cassie just has like a very like pity face where you can't help but feel bad for her, but it's also kind of funny at the same time. But this distraction is enough to have Rue escape now. So she escapes and she goes to Fez's house. Fez is there. This is where in my mind I thought this is how Fez is going to die. I thought Rue was going to ask Fez for help with the pill stuff and with Lori, and I thought Fez would have to, do something drastic to try and help Rue. But that doesn't happen. Rue actually betrays Fez's trust in a way, and by not going to the bathroom like she said she was, she goes into his room and starts snooping around for pills. She finds them, but Fez finds her snooping around as well, and he actually kicks her out, which I was surprised at. But if you're put in Fez's shoes, you don't know what Rue's situation is right now. She never explains herself. And he's given her so many chances to get clean, and he's always tried to help her. And so I think Fez was just at his last straw here with Rue, and he had to kick her out for her own good. She betrayed her trust. Like he said, it's on a principle level, so I can't really blame Fez for kicking her out. So then after this, Rue is roaming the streets again. She actually sneaks into someone's house. There's a dog there. She steals the jewelry. Then the people come back home, and I thought this was another high-tension scene. I thought it was going to be drawn out a little bit more. She hides underneath the bed, but the couple finds her pretty quickly. After this, she starts running away, and then she runs to the cops. Giant cop chase ensues as she has to just run away. Another just suspense. It was engaging. It was exciting to watch. Like I said, it was like an adrenaline rush for the audience. Just like this constant thing, Rue hopping here to here to here, and wanting her to sort of escape in a way. And I think a lot of us as the audience members were torn on how to feel about, all these chases. Like, do we want her to get caught because we care about this character and we want her to get better? Or do we want her to escape just because, she's the main character and that's what she wants to do, so we have to support her? And it's just one of those things that I like what the director's doing, how Zendaya is such a likable actress, but her character is very unlikable in what she does. And you can't help but feel bad. So when these things happen, like she's running away from the cops or she's running away from her family, it's like, who do we side with? Do we side with Rue and we want her to run away? Or do we side with these other characters that are trying to, make her get better? But she eventually escapes from the cops. She hides in the trash can. And she makes her way to Lori now, which is who she bought these pills from and who she has to sell in order so that she doesn't get in trouble with Lori. I thought, if she didn't get the money, she'd become like a sex slave or something like that. Lori would sell her into sex or whatever. And I think that's sort of like what Lori's plan was here. Lori even tells her that, the thing about women is that they'll always have something that someone wants, right? Like selling your body. And shortly after this conversation, Lori gives Rue morphine. This is where we get another sort of flashback scene. We really feel the absence of Rue's father in this episode. Rue sort of thinks back on her life and how she misses her father. She even says it to her mom in the beginning, that she misses him a lot, and she says, me too. And all that just adds more to Rue's character. It's this whole drug thing, may be because of her dead father, and that's why she started it, and it just got out of control, and now she looks back on her father, and I wonder if she actually blames him for leaving her. That wasn't something that was played into it. This episode was more of like an I miss you, not really like an I blame you. But right after the bath scene, she sort of knocks out from the morphine. She wakes up in this weird room. At first, this is where my mind went to sex slave. I was like, Lori definitely drugged her. She might have already got used already. She's going to wake up. I thought like some old dude was going to come out of the bathroom, right? And she forgot everything from last night. Thankfully, I don't think that happened. I'm not really sure like what Lori's idea was here. Was she genuine, just actually want to take care of her? I felt like she might have had other motives, but maybe she's not as bad as I thought. But she wakes up. She wants to leave. Another high-tension scene as she tries to grab the keys. And then she literally goes into Lori's room. Her boyfriend, her husband, wakes up. It's like this jack dude's trying to, look for her. She thankfully, gets out of the window, and she escapes. And the episode ends with Rue's mom. We hear the door open. She says, Rue, and that's how the episode ends, which I'm guessing it is Rue. I would think Rue would come back to the house. Who else would that be? I really hope it is Rue. I hope she goes back to her mom, maybe gets help again. But we'll see. So my rating for this episode is a 4.8 out of 5. It was so close to a 5 out of 5. I think halfway through I literally said this episode will probably get to be a perfect episode. And if someone asked me to round it up, I would round up to a 5 out of 5, obviously. But I feel like next episode is going to get to that perfectness. And I think there are other episodes of Euphoria in season 1 that were legit perfect or even beyond perfect. And this came very close. The whole first half was amazing. I think it got sort of repetitive with Rue sort of, running around to house, location to location. But it was all entertaining, like I said. It was exciting. The filmmaking aspects were were good. I think some other episodes were definitely more impressive. But for what they were trying to do in this episode, they did a great job. But that is just my thoughts on this episode. For the future, my prediction is just, I think it will be Rue at the door, obviously, right? Will she get help? I don't know. I feel like that was already the theme of like season 1. And as we saw at the end, you know, she can't overcome that addiction, right? So for season 2, for it to all of a sudden hop back on that train of just putting her back in a rehab and her trying to get help, I think it would be, I don't know, I just feel like it wouldn't work. I feel like they might have to go different routes somehow. Either, I don't think they're going to kill Rue, but I don't think they're going to just put her back in a rehab and have the same narrative of her trying to get better. I just don't think that's going to happen. So we'll see. Let me know down below. What you guys think of this episode, though? Was your favorite? For me, this is by far my favorite episode of season 2 so far. Like I said, I think there were better episodes in season 1. A couple, maybe 3 or 4. This was definitely one of the top episodes of Euphoria, though, and I'm excited to see the rest and how it all plays out. So let me know down below what you guys thought. Please make sure to like this video if you guys have been enjoying it. Please make sure to comment down below. Please make sure to subscribe for new. I will see you on the next episode. Have a great rest of the day.